Bienvenue à tous. Welcome to Reporters, France 24's in-depth focus on the stories that matter all around the world. In this edition, we take you to India, where the recent gang rape and murder of a young woman brought thousands of angry people onto the streets. The treatment of women has become an issue of international embarrassment for India, and the women of the country have decided it's time for change. The fatal, humiliating and savage attack on a 23-year-old female student on a bus in New Delhi has turned out to be just one of an horrific sequence of crimes against women, crimes that would have before been ignored, even unreported. But now in India, women are demanding change. Our reporter is Mandakini Gaulat, and this is her report.
This tiny village in the North Indian state of Punjab was lost in obscurity until a few weeks ago. But a family's grief has placed it at the center of national attention. Surjit Kaur's second daughter, Charanjit, is now her only source of comfort. Her youngest daughter, Paramjit, committed suicide a month and a half after she had been gang raped by 4 villagers, all of them men from influential families. It wasn't the rape that broke Paramjit's will to live. It was what happened afterwards.
For a month and a half, the police would pressure us daily to make a compromise with the accused, to withdraw our complaint. Otherwise, they threatened to file a case against us. They said they would make it look like my sister was a prostitute. So my little sister came to know that the police was constantly putting pressure on us, and they were emotionally torturing my mother. And that's why it was only because of the police that she killed herself.
Surjit will not abandon the memory of her daughter and has been encouraged by the decision of the government at last to take steps to ensure justice. 2 policemen have been arrested in the case.
Every time my daughter went to the police, they treated her so badly. They asked her obscene questions about how she was raped. In the end, she told the police, "Already such a bad thing has happened to me. At least you should all not treat me so badly. Those who destroyed my daughter's life should be hung."
Surjit is not alone in her sorrow. Her pain is shared by thousands of mothers across India. Each year, nearly 25,000 women are raped, many of them minors. Justice is hard to come by. In 2012, 635 rapes were registered in New Delhi, but only 1 person was convicted.
Arrested 2 men for the brutal gang rape of a young girl in a moving bus in the national
But late
capital,
last year, it looked like things would change. One sexual assault shook the entire nation. On 16 December, 23-year-old Jyoti Singh was raped and tortured in this public school bus. When the police found her and her boyfriend on the street, they treated them with a callousness that shocked many. When she died of her injuries, it came as a wake-up call for Indians. Thousands took to the streets demanding safety for women and stringent punishment for those found guilty of rape. The death of Jyoti Singh, or the daughter of India as many now call her, has prompted a national soul-searching. To find out why sexual violence is so rampant in India, we travelled to a small village. It's barely 100 kilometers from the capital, New Delhi. But given the extreme conservatism that's practiced here, it might as well be a world away. For the village council, the victim was responsible for what happened in the Delhi gang rape.
It was wrong to be out at night with a boyfriend. It's so wrong. Girls should not be out at night. They should know their place.
Councils like these, often called India's Taliban, preach misogynist values. They are against education of women, and some have in the past banned everything from mobile phones to jeans for girls in the village. Now, they propose a strange solution to dealing with rape.
If something's wrong, then we will remove both the boy and the girl from our villages, or we would get them married to each other.
The women here have to cover their faces at all times in public. An exception is made for young girls. But when we tried to speak to the women about it, they were evasive.
We have no restrictions, but the women of this village are wanting to like this.
But then we meet Sanju and Aarti, two young sisters who are painfully aware of the discrimination between men and women in their village.
When a boy is born, there are so many celebrations, but everyone is sad when a girl is born. We feel really bad. There's so much discrimination. It's really sad. Sometimes girls are killed as soon as they're born.
Aarti rebels in her own way. She wears her hair short and wants to live like a boy.
Because there are so many restrictions for girls. Girls can't even go out anywhere, and if they do go out, the boys harass them. So girls can only go out with their parents. I want to wear jeans and shirts, but the villagers won't allow it. They only want us to be dressed in a traditional way, all the time, but I don't like this at all.
Girls like Sanju and Aarti signal hope for India's villages. Back in the city, young girls like Baby are still shaken by the Delhi gang rape. Thousands of women use the country's overcrowded public transport system to go to work or study. And each day, they face harassment from male passengers.
And if you say anything to the men who are touching you, they act like they don't know what you're talking about. They get aggressive, they don't even apologize. And if a girl says anything, the boy gets offended. He knows which bus the girl takes daily, and it can be a real problem for the girl. Honestly, that's what scares us.
In a recent survey, 94% of women said they felt unsafe using the country's public transport. But many women are refusing to be intimidated.
We women have to be bold. We can't just bow down in front of men. We have to take care of ourselves.
In the cities, as in the countryside, Indian men often share a perverse view of the violence inflicted on women.
How a man treats a woman depends a lot on the way she's dressed. Women should not wear short and skimpy clothes in public.
Such attitudes are widespread among Indian men. Thousands of young girls work in call centers across the country. Often their work extends late into the night. Shahreen Ahmed is an executive in one such company. She wouldn't dream of using the country's public transport network. Her company provides transport for all its employees.
I'm the last. Please send a security guard along with me.
Sure. And I'm writing the car number as well. Please sit in the car.
No, in that case, I would have not taken this job. Neither my family would have appreciated me taking this job. Yeah. So it's really important these days to be safe on roads. And honestly telling you that right now, Delhi NCR roads are not safe for us to go alone.
While Shahreen is being dropped home, the company's security team tracks her car from a remote location, as it does for all other employees.
NCR also we have. Guys, can you just click on this 3047? Okay, so you can see the entire details of the cab as to what is the registration number of the cab and what is the exact location of the cab as of now and at what speed it is being driven by the driver. If there is a problem in the cab, we will have a low cab, approaching to that location to give them, kind of support.
Shahreen's company has nearly 10,000 female employees, and the measures it takes to protect them go beyond dropping them at home.
After the recent gang rape, first thing what happened was pepper spray stalls were there organized. Second thing, there was a self-defense training that happened in the organization.
In the absence of police on the streets, more and more private companies are taking on the responsibility for protecting their female employees. They are young and old, men and women, and even children. Some of them are political leaders, others victims of sexual violence, and many are students. They've been on the streets for 2 months, screaming for change, determined not to let this chance slip away unnoticed.
I want freedom for everything, to be able to go out, and especially I want equality with men, which we don't have right now.
The spontaneous anti-rape movement that began in December has not lost steam. It is a movement unlike any that India has ever seen before, a women's rebellion with equal support from men.
Tomorrow the violence can be directed against my friends or my sister, against any girl. So that's why we all need to support this movement. All men should join in.
Here, the protesters are keeping vigil not far from the Indian Parliament, which was due to begin its new session in a few hours. The government formed a committee in December to make recommendations for reducing violence against women. The protesters want the government to implement those recommendations immediately. Leading the struggle is Kavita Krishnan.
First time in this movement, that's the amazing thing. In this movement, people have been able to hear these things. Kavita, it has started. And we are.
She and her colleagues are working tirelessly to ensure that the movement does not lose steam and that the protesters stay on the streets.
She can hold it for you.
When we ask for security, the government says, OK, for your protection, we'll put more police on the streets and some CCTV cameras. Then they say, for your safety, you are the most responsible. They tell women how to dress, what time to go out, what time not to go out, how to behave.
Rapes continue to be reported in large numbers across the country even now. But for the first time, the issue is getting the attention it deserves. The Indian Parliament recently created a special fund for increasing security for women on the streets and in public transport.
I don't think any one of us is imagining that sexual violence will stop. But I think what has changed is that you're having a large number of common people who maybe never protested before, who are coming out to protest not just violence, but to protest against the rampant rape culture of blaming women, of trying to restrict women's freedoms in the name of protecting them. And that, I think, is very remarkable. That is a signal of change.
Can India create a safe and equal space for its women? There is much to be done, and the obstacles remain daunting. But these women, like millions across the country, believe the time for change has come. For the first time, they have begun to imagine a future without fear.
Our reporter Mandakini Galat joins us now by satellite from New Delhi. Mandakini, the murder and gang rape of 23-year-old Jyoti Singh, as we saw in your report, and which illustrated it very well, it's mobilised many angry people. Do you think there's real change on the horizon in India on the treatment of women?
Well, it certainly appears like that sometimes. For example, when we were shooting, we were very struck by the fact that large crowds were drawn to these protests. These are very emotional affairs. There were a large number of men and older people, as well as people from different social castes mixing freely with each other, which I can tell you is very rare in India. And because these are such emotional affairs, when you're there, you feel like certainly some kind of change has to set in because that's what people want. But then again, you travel into the villages like we did for this report, and you're in a whole different world, and you realize that for change to set into those places, it's probably going to take many, many years. But Indian women have always gone about living their lives very quietly. And the very fact that they're out now and they're talking about things that have happened to them very openly is good to see. It's very remarkable.
It sounds like a very positive step. Tell us what's been done, though, to improve women's safety.
So this is a real paradox because there's both a very real and serious debate about what needs to be done, as well as talk of very conservative measures which will only serve to restrict women's freedoms even further. For example, on the one hand, the government is preparing a new anti-rape law, which, when it's prepared, will probably bear the name of the Delhi gang rape victim. And then on the other hand, you have the Mumbai police, which is going about fining young couples for being out late at night in deserted spots. Now, officially, they've withdrawn that measure, but a lot of policemen and a lot of people in India still believe that measures such as that need to be enforced, that women should stay at home and shouldn't go out late into the night. For its part, the government is doing a few things. It's created special fast-track courts to deal with rape cases, and there's also talk of recruiting more female police officers. So those are the measures.
What are the latest things you can tell us about the Jyoti Singh case, Mandakini? What's the latest with that legal process?
Right. So the trial began on 5th February for the 5 accused. They were formally charged with rape, murder, and kidnapping. The 6th accused, who's a minor, is being tried separately. And there's a lot of anger about that because people believe he is likely to get away with a light sentence of 3 to 5 years. Now, this is a day-to-day trial. It's being conducted. Media is not allowed into the trial, so information is often hard to come by. But what we do know is that all accused have pleaded not guilty. They said that their confessions were forced out of them by the police. The victim's boyfriend has appeared as a witness. He was the only real witness in the crime. The trial is expected to last 3 more months, at the end of which it's possible that some of the accused would get the death sentence, which is the maximum possible punishment for murder in India.
Mandakini, thank you very much indeed. That concludes Reporters. You're watching France 24. Stay with us.